Hey, so we're ready to start. We also have one guest online. And today we are discovering the second Gene Key, the key of divine feminine. And the program partner of this key is the first Gene Key, is basically divine masculine. The program partner, for those who don't know, is the key that is the absolute mirror and literally the partner of the one, and together they create like a unity. And they're like key and a lot. So we have first Gene Key of Shiva and we have second Gene Key of Shakti. And today we are discovering, diving, surrendering to Shakti. Because we can't really understand the divine feminine, but we can just feel and let her show us the way and let her take us. Surrender to the water. It's the cordon ring of water. So it's all about water. And I think we're going to have a rain soon here in Bali. So surrender into the water. And the shadow of dislocation, the gift of a reintention, and the seed of union. And what is beautiful about this key, what I very much love about this transmission, something that Richard Rudd was sharing in the beginning, that we are all kind of collectively in the shadow of dislocation because everything gets reversed. That originally, long time ago, the feminine was the first and the masculine was the second. But since we step into the path of evolution, of growing and going somewhere with agenda to a direction, the masculine came in the first position. And he said, since the masculine there is always going to be a dislocation. Until we put a feminine on the first, there's always going to be some kind of dislocation and a feeling of like something is missing. And what is the missing is the heart and it's the seed of unity. And when we're saying that putting feminine on the first, it doesn't mean woman. In fact, feminine means, first of all, it's our heart, it's the feeling of home, connection with home, and it's the feeling of oneness. And it means to be guided by our heart instead of making decisions and directions from our mind. And when we feel dislocation, basically, we feel like we are not in our flow of life. Things are not aligning. Like life is not flowing. We have an obstacles or something is not coming our way. And we might feel also deep sadness. We might feel that we miss something. We might feel that we lost something or we don't have enough of something. We might even try to find our path in our way. But the more actions we taken from shadow, the more, in fact, we are rooting ourselves in the shadow. What I love the Gene Key is that it's a system that shows us that we can change outside only from within. So, in fact, to come to the gift of our intention first, we need to start listen to ourselves and bring our attention awareness within inwards. And then basically we will come into synchronicity of life. This we will experience in the gift. And then the synchronicity is something you can't make it happen. It's in fact happening when you surrender. And when you don't try to understand what is my path, like what is my mission, what I should do, the more you surrender and the more it's opening up and the more it's unfolding. And if we will come back to shadow and to the point why it all gets reversed, is that we put like masculine, that is evolution on the first position, let's say, because feminine is not going anywhere. It's like it's always present, it's always here, it's not evoluting. It's like a deep ocean, and like the depths of the ocean, it's just always there. But the masculine, has a direction and it's going somewhere. So, and we started to go from our center somewhere outside to experience ourselves, and then we get lost because we forget that the home is within. But we kind of went so far away that we started to feel that we're missing something, but because we went already so far away, we forget what we're missing. And then we try to find it outside, like in money, in like career, in relationship, anywhere else. We try to find the satisfaction and fulfill the void. But the thing is, what he's sharing, to come into union, you will have to face this void, and you will have to bring all your awareness within. And that at one point, maybe you will have enough of trying to create a satisfaction, or enough of suffering that it might naturally draw your attention within it. And the dilemma of this key dilemma is like a challenge. What we are facing to overcome the difficulty, and the challenge is agenda. It's like when we are doing something and we have agenda, why I do and like what I want from this. And this is in fact what also brings us into shadow, because the more we let the feminine flow, the more we let the flow happen, the more we acting, we're letting go our like plans and agenda and how we think life should be, and we surrendering to the life, the more everything is happening accordingly, in fact, to divine plan. The funniest thing, what I love about this key is that it's like we're looking for something. We might think it's purpose, it's our mission, or it's like love, or it's enlightenment, whatever we're looking for. And we think we need to like have a vision or have a plan and go somewhere to find it. But the key is showing that it's all already in your system. The whole path is encoded in your DNA. And when you surrender to fully to yourself and let go the need to understand, it will activate activation of special hormone in pineal gland that will naturally activate process in you, that your cells will start to magnetize everything that is in alignment with your soul, with your past and everything. But the more we try to like logically find it and understand, the more we in fact create in the shadow, and the more and more we putting ourselves down in a way. And shadow always has two sides. And one of the sides of the shadow is the person who, let's say, just stuck in the material. And in egoism without understanding the connection with the whole. As it's, I remember it's city of unity, a union, and union means a wholeness. When we will come to the sea story, we will come to realization that we're not even walking this path alone, because we always with everybody, everything interconnecting. And my mission is not separated from your mission or from your mission or from your mission. It's like it's all one, and we all move in one as a collective, as a one consciousness. And the union is what kind of showing us in its full potential. And in a shadow, the shadow would be also kind of self-egoistically just attached to itself and try to in that sense of shadow, it will not even try to find any purpose. It will just try to receive a feeling of completion through the material life. And it will be just absolutely closed from any spiritual or higher realms, and kind of will not understand how it affects environment, and that how you connect with the environment and everything that is around you. And the more we connect with the key, the more we see, or let's say it brings for us the topic of seeing and operating in the energy fields. Instead of operating like just as one being, we're starting to see how it's all in fact energy fields, and I create energy field, my energy field connect with you, and then it's amplifying, it's connecting bigger energy fields. And if you know, like the torus system, that you can generate. This is an energy field, and that again in the city of union, it's just, let's say, the combination of all the energy fields in a union together. And it's interesting how, again, everything aligned, because a week ago I had like, it was like a teaching from one of my teacher, where we had practices where we've been working with the energy fields. And instead of just first we were just, like, for example, clearing chakras, but then we went further into operating through energy fields and seeing what is an energy field, adjusting if it's needed, or like clearing anything from energy field. So like electromagnetic energy field. So not just like chakra, but instead seeing it wider as a field of energy information. And then how, for example, even if I want to see, let's say, for example, there is me and there is Jinky. The Jinky is itself in the energy field. It's a very, very, very big energy field. And there is the way how I connect with the energy field. And that's what creates some synchronicity and the flow and this alignment, because it's aligned to my soul and to what I feel, you know, like in the core of my being. And then it's like in the energy fields connects, and then it also brings, for example, how it works in a relationship. That relationship is not two, in fact, it's three. It's a man and woman, and it's a field they're creating together. This is the third part. And that speaking about relationship, we should always understand and see from that perspective that it's not only man and woman, but the thought that is like 1 + 1, that is not 2, that is 3 or 11, depends on how we see it. Yes, and one sec. So let's say if we want to connect with the key, we need to first just listen to water. We need to connect with the, let's say, what the key words of this key on the divine feminine. It's receptive. It's listening. It's receiving. It's being like the water that doesn't fight the obstacle, but in fact, it's like finding the most easy way to kind of flow through these and continue it fast. So, and the water is very intelligent, and coming into this key, we also coming into such a big intelligence of divine feminine that we again can never understand, because it's beyond like our mental understanding. To activate it, we have to surrender. That will activate an alchemical process in our system that will give us an experience, will bring us to the state of consciousness. What is it? So in fact, the more we try to understand, the more we make it harder for ourselves. And the beautiful thing about this also, that we have 1 and 2, but in the fact, we think they're separated, like the masculine and feminine, but in fact, they're also not. They not exist within one another, and the masculine as a consciousness or spirit, and the feminine is the form that allow the consciousness to experience itself. And if we look deeper, we will see that they're not separated at all, and that's like a one being and one system, and the consciousness need a form to experience itself, and the form need a consciousness to be experienced. And it's interesting, as again, everything always synchronizes. My partner now, he's at Shiva Shakti retreat, where yesterday was a satsang about Shiva Shakti, and when he came back home, he was sharing with me, in fact, the same things. Was what the guru was telling them, that the masculine is a consciousness and feminine is a form. And there even was a story of like that one time when Shiva was with Parvati and with his devotees, and one of the person he asked, but like, why we need Parvati, why we need Shakti? Is like kind of, it's everything already full. Why we need this? Like, it's just a distraction. And she heard it and she disappeared.
This is it's a
Have a
high
tea
mountain oolong. It's Alishan oolong from Taiwan.
Oh, what's that?
Sweet.
So then what happened when Shakti disappeared? And then everything died. I'm kidding, but like everything started to become empty. Like there was no life anymore. There, like kind of the universe started to be dry. There was nothing to experience. And then this person, he realized, and he apologized and asked to come back, because they realized that yeah, there is a consciousness, but if there is no form, a container for consciousness to experience itself, then it's like it's nowhere to go. It's no new sense of even self-realize itself. So and then the form need the consciousness to sit to the witness. And yeah, the Shiva then explained this to them and said, like, we not, you see us like as a separate, but we one. And oh, the Shiva came.
Shiva.
Shiva.
Please silently, my love. Yes, and in fact, we're gonna open now soon a space, but what I also want to share about the shadow is that we have to follow, we have to bring our attention from the outside to the inside. And this key will teach us to surrender. And in fact, what's beautiful here, it's a question of trust. Because in the shadow, we don't have any trust. There's also a quote that we need agenda because we don't trust life. And because we don't trust life and we don't trust how everything is in fact unfolding and always serving our purpose, just because we don't trust it, we need to find always the reasons, the agenda, creative plans and everything. But the more we surrender to this, to our past and how life is moving through us, the more we find in this deep alignment. And if you ever like feel lost or disconnected from life, I would say this key is something that you just need to really contemplate on, because it has this energy of bringing the flow and alignment back to you. And there's one of the beautiful things, in fact, that when we think we lost, we never lost. The message of this key is that you can never make mistakes. Mistakes that don't exist. That you everything, every you act, every your decision, everything is aligned, everything is perfect, everything how it's supposed, everything is a part of your plan. You can't make mistakes. And but because we don't trust life and we try to figure out everything, then we kind of first we separated ourselves from the flow and we created this dislocation. Then we're trying to find the path. Then we think, oh, I can make a mistake, or I need to have an agenda, or I need to have this and this. And then we just kind of separating ourselves more and more. And the moment we stop and can listen, and then the moment when we can listen to the intuition and subtle answers within us, I would say we realign again, and the flow starts moving through us again. But even if sometimes we disconnect from flow, it's also part of the flow. It's also part of the plan. Sometimes to be lost is needed, so then you can find yourself, or you can find something else along this path. And the beautiful thing that I want you to contemplate on the next days, seeing the ski in the transit, is this feeling of like that there is no mistakes, and then you can't be wrong. Everything you ever done and everything that's happening is always right. And yeah, I feel it's a time for a little bit sharing. Brian, you're also welcome to share if you want to ask anything, and people who are here have any questions, or if you feel anything was coming through you during this space of silence. Everybody did amazing. Perfect. So yeah, please now, if you want. We just covered the shadow. Yes.
I have a question. If we are meant to never take the wrong path, what about our decisions around our destined path and the shortcuts, or the longer path that we can take?
I don't honestly understand the question.
Okay, I'm gonna have to
I mean, I
rephrase
don't
it.
understand this part about shortcuts or.
Because for me, we do have a destined path.
Mhm,
And then there is as well karmic lessons on the way.
mhm.
And karma is as well the choices we're making. And sometimes the choice that we're making make just a little detour. So in that case, it's not the wrong path. It's just like a little longer. Maybe answered your question.
It's longer just because this is like the time and space. When we go into City of Union, there is no time and space, so there is no long or short path.
But okay, I have something in me that feels responsible to not make the wrong decision.
Mhm.
And that is the last thing that may not hold me from full surrender.
How so?
Because I'm always wondering what is the most like self-responsible and in line to my highest destiny.
Back to the question of trust. Remember what I said, we need agenda because we don't trust. We don't trust that the path is made and it's unfolding. And that in fact, you can't make nothing not to be on your path. That's what the ski is saying. Even when you think that you go so like kind of out of course and so far away, because you feel some discomfortable feelings there and something that like kind of you don't want to feel and experience. But this is all part of the big path that your soul needs, because everything that your soul needs to experience. And that this itself is the path that it's not you going from here to here, like again, the evolution. This is the masculine, the evolution. I'm going from one point to another to reach some certain destination. Like, for example, here I have anything that I have here, like my career, relationship, like environment, anything I can put as a destination. But the second Jinki is showing us that there is no one destination. We created it in our mind because for our like logical part, for masculine part, you need to have agenda and some goal so you can start walking. But if you will kind of see deeper, you will see that it's all unfolding, and every step you're making, it's the path that's unfolding, it's within you. And that I would say on a personal level, we might experience misalignments, but these misalignments is also something we need to experience. And then we'll think, oh, I need to bring myself in alignment, and we'll bring myself in alignment, but it's all part of like this kind of current flow that's already happening. And the more you trust, in fact, and this reminds me of something that your question reminded me of something that long time ago, my old teacher shared with me when something about relationship where I was, I don't know, it was like something with avoidance and with fear of lose myself in a relationship, when she said that if you're afraid to lose yourself, lose yourself. Because lose who you are, who you truly are, you can never lose. Will be lost everything that you are not, all your ideas, everything. And when I like tried this, I said, okay, I'm gonna experiment. And then I realized that, yes, in fact, what I am can't be lost. And the same as your past, it can't be lost. Like, it's so rooted in your system. And I'll understand also later when we go into the gift, how it's working on a physiological level and chemistry level and energetic level, that even your mistakes are like part of this past. And even if you think you might, let's say, you might not do something that is needed, if something is really needed to happen, it's essential for us, so the life will find a way to make it happen. The life will find a way to, you know, how many times when we had like people coming into life, something. I remember once I was in Bali years ago, and I was wondering if I should go to Russia or not. And I had like doubts and didn't know if I should go, if I should not go. I haven't been 3 years already at home, and I was sitting in Zest, and that was COVID times, and I was sitting in Zest, and I already opened a notebook, I checked the flight, and I was just about to buy a ticket, but I wanted to ask my friend who flew a couple weeks before me about this flight and some details. And while I've been asking her and waiting for a question, there's like was one friend who came, he literally came by, he came to Zest, almost empty. I know, hard to imagine right now, but he came to Zest, he saw me, we started to speak. I said, oh, I'm thinking to go like to Russia through Dubai. He said, oh, you know, like they closed kind of because there was some another way of COVID. They closed something like from Indonesia, the flights coming or something, like you won't be able to come. And then I was like, okay, I guess it's a message. And then I said, but why I came here for food? He's like, no, I was just driving by and something I felt I need to go to Zest. And then of course I didn't buy a ticket and I stayed, and other beautiful things happened. So that's was just another for me, seeing that the life is always guiding us and it's always showing us what's, if you can't make mistake, because if you won't try, the life will guide you, and if you make a mistake, that means this mistake has to be making, because it's a part of some like lessons or something that we go through. Did I answer your question?
Thank you so much.
Okay. Anybody else? No?
I have this gate or key in my vocation, so in my core wound. And this shadow feeling dislocated from life is such a big thing. I think it's such a, as you said, like it's a collective thing, but it's feeling of like being lost in life. I feel when we're in the shadow, one of the symptoms of being in the shadow is that everything feels very divided. Like it's like this or this. You know, am I making the right decision? Like all coming from this lack of trust. But I really remember like one of the turning points for me was realizing that the prerequisite to be found, like a prerequisite, like what is required before you can find yourself, is to be lost. And a prerequisite to awakening is to be asleep. So it's like this real feeling like, okay, maybe you are completely lost. Maybe you're completely stuck in the darkness and you don't know what's going on. And even that is the perfect place to be in order for the next part of the journey to unfold. And then it starts looking less and less like this journey that's unfolding and just this, it's like life is always just getting you to open your eyes bigger to see the bigger picture of like what is. Yeah, it's so beautiful. I even feel like even in the shadow of this gene key, there's so much light and so much hope. At least that's sort of that I experience it. Maybe not at the time. Although it's like,
For sharing. It's interesting, like, as you have this in your form and this your vocation, so this is something that you came here to share with the world. And so, to kind of, I will see later more on the gift, how it works, their intention. But it's also, I would say, kind of releasing the feeling of being lost, the idea of being lost, and let's say the moment if we have some discomfortable feelings or something that we feel like we struggle, some suffering, that just means we have to look deep within. Instead of looking for next, how you call it, distraction, or something that outside will satisfy you, you look within. And the more we look within and we look into this void, there's the second gene key inviting us, the more we kind of reconnect back with this synchronicity of life and everything. That the coming to this gift, the coming back into the state of synchronicity, but also trusting the moments when you lost. And I'm also doing the Jinkies game. Maybe we can, I don't know, do one time. I'm usually not speaking about this, but there is like a transformative game based on Jinkies. And when somebody is stepping into their second Jinky, he has to, like, every key, like you go through the tasks. And for the second task, if you start on this key, the other person or who you play with, it can be group, it can be one person, is you close your eye, you have blind eyes, and then through the next round, you are playing blind. And even the next person can put your, like, you have your finger on point, can put your point anywhere else on the chart. It's like kind of, you might have to just create even more like chaos and dislocation, put you like somewhere else. But through this, and you like, so I remember once we played with my friend and we both had this key one by one, and I was also playing and I was also facilitating, and then we both were blind. And like, I don't remember how it's all like reorganized itself, but somehow it happened. It was so like mysterious that the life always like this mystery, I would say, I lost into the feeling of union. Anything else? Anything else? No? Martin, no?
It's like,
Okay.
uh,
You're in your oven, like.
no, well, what I was thinking, I mean, I have it in my SQ, this location, and also I was thinking about what I was just feeling into like this is really the key of water. And 6 years ago, I had such a like clear calling, I have to work with water. And I was just thinking into how I like been a little bit like dislocated in that mission. I think I told you a couple of times like how I felt very supported in what I was doing, and then but having had to step back a couple of times from what I was doing. Like feeling.
So do you
This
feel
look-
lost or you feel?
I had felt lost in that endeavor,
Mhm.
and so I've come back to, I mean, I close things down and then just find the flow way. How do I approach it is really the question that came up, and I'm sure that the answer is in the gift in the city, of course.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, we kill water. The life just came to me in such a big cake of puer, Brian.
Piece
You
of
can
cake.
smell.
That's her motto, cake work.
I'm drinking Earl Grey, Earl Grey tea. Very British.
Yeah, you have your.
British spirit.
You know, also what I just remembered about the ski and the shadow, it's the dislocation. It's a feeling of missing the Divine Mother. It's like missing the.
So I'm helping her stop. This one in the middle.
But please, if you want to ask, please ask me, okay? Because then it's great.
No, I don't want to say anything. I'm not going to say anything.
Why?
Because you told us to.
No, but we open a space now for questions.
I'm
sharing.
just trying to learn something about what he just said. He said my gift,
Mhm.
so I was looking at. I don't know where the gift is.
Gift is the middle stage of
Yeah.
the key.
She's saying on the diagram, there's four, you have four, it's the one that's like one from the top. Each, so you remember.
And that's what I asked him.
It's like one.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, just, okay,
Yes.
just, if it's,
You're gonna
when,
finish.
Punished by that.
In the corner.
Yeah.
no, just when space is open, you can ask, that's what I'm saying, if anybody has any questions, when we have an open space, if you have like any questions around this drink is everything you can ask. It's not that's like it's forbidden when we open space, it's welcome.
Not to review only what you said.
Yeah, if you don't understand something, you can always ask. Okay? Or anybody kind of. And because when a lot of people speaking, it's also I feel like I'm losing there, and then I
Yes,
can't hear
yes, yes.
myself what I'm saying, and I can't really transmit. I hear others, and I get lost, and then like
The point of the guidelines.
the
is
flow
let's
is cutting.
Let's keep our focus on the table, let's stay in the unified energy, and yeah, that's the point, like, we'll break away in different groups, of course, bring up questions when you have, but let's bring them to Katya, and
But maybe asking about the gift is inappropriate.
no, any question, okay, so let me stop, any question is appropriate. Anything that comes up when the space is open, but when we break out in different chatter groups, that's what breaks the energy of the group, of the circle.
Yeah, with the union.
Yeah.
But also there are no
We're one
mistakes.
thread.
Yes.
There are no what?
Mistake.
There are no.
Nothing wrong you can do.
Isn't this quite chatty? Right now?
No, I mean, laughter is.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Everybody has second drink except me, yeah.
I don't.
What does that mean?
No, I don't have it.
It's okay.
Very.
I mean, just Martin, Katie, and
There you have it as well, Martin.
Oh, okay.
So, like, yes, have
Not everybody.
See, this is the Shakti, the second Jinki, how it's, flowing around and playing with everyone's minds, so.
So I was saying something I want to finish about shadow before we go to gift about this feeling of missing the mother, basically. This disorientation is a feeling of like disconnection from the divine mother that gives us a feeling of home, wholeness. You know, we're missing that. We want to like kind of come back, and we can always just feel this call and connect in our hearts to divine mother again. And it was again, I'm always just like so funny to see how everything aligned. Just a couple of days ago when the ski came into the field, I was watching some Instagram and I found a little movie of like it's a Russian little cartoon where there is a song where there is little, how you call momentsonok? It's like an elephant, but very old elephant that have a
Like a woolly moment.
yeah. And there's like a little one, the small one, who is he basically he woke up later on in the ice and there was nobody. And once somebody told him you should go there like through the ocean to find your mother. And he's on the little ice thing, he's swimming through the ocean and he's singing song about like I'm coming to my mom, like something like I'm not afraid of any like winds or waves. I'm like, coming to find my mommy. So this is kind of the energy of this fever, and then yeah, he found his mommy.
Oh, that's difficult to say. I didn't realize they're from the 16th.
Well, in fact, he found what when I watched this movie when I was small, I didn't realize this, but now I saw he didn't found he came to Africa, so he found a big elephant, but not mammoth, because mammoths already died. He kind of was stuck in the ice, but this elephant, he's accepted him as his son, and he was like, "Mommy, this is you," and she's like, "Yes, yes, this is me," and then like walking together, like.
Ganesh.
Okay.
Oh, Ganesh.
I was just crying, and then I'm like, "Oh, this is the second Jinky, okay?"
Because it is like when you really have this deep trust in life, and whether you, yeah, as we carry on, we'll start going into the field of union, but even when you think you're on this path and you have to get to a goal, if the goal is that you're going to reunite with something that deeply loves you, like that's such a nice feeling, like you know that that's the path that you're on. That whatever happens, you're like, it's okay, by the end of this, I'm going to be in my mother's arms.
This is something really beautiful you said, because to activate this key, what Richard says, you have to put love above all. Like,
I have to what?
put love above all. And this is like the essence of this key. If you wanna come to union, if you wanna transmute the shadow, if you want to realize what is divine feminine, you have to put love above all. This all the answers will come. So before we close the space, then we'll go into gift. If anybody else want to share or ask anything.
I mean, I also just reflecting on like the dislocation.
Mhm.
I definitely felt like I experienced some of that later this week, and the weekend included. But I think with some situations in my life, how it's kind of in the shadow I was, and how it was like I felt like, oh, I lost the meaning. It's like kind of get consumed in the like the tsunami wave of like life, you know, with that so much. Shakti gives you infinite possibilities, but you're kind of we will see, I suppose, trying to find what will rivet you will take for yourself and make it into your own holy path to God, to soul, to source. This is a tricky part. Which little rivet to take?
Okay. Is it Dimitri Martin?
Yes.
Okay, so wait. A little more. You have more. Ah, okay. Thank you. You have like a little bird that we have left to share.
It's my Shakti. She can take what she wants.
Hmm. It's someone.
Yeah, that is strong.
What
It's
is
a
it?
Songlin. It's a Taiwanese tea. They make it in the pu'er method. But it's not the pu'er. So it's like it's a like young pu'er style tea.
I thought it wasn't where just thinking about it is different.
Yeah, it's made in the same way,
Yeah.
but not from the same place, and it's
Ah.
young. That's next one we're gonna drink in the old one.
Okay, so let's start with gifts. So we have a CD with the old foil.
So what you feel with this one, it still has all the fruit, like it's like.
Yes.
you feel the
Yes.
Fruitiness, but still, it's not like mature yet, and in the old one, the aged one, you just feel how it's like, the fruit is kind of, the flavors are blended in a different way.
So the gift of our intention. And our intention is basically, it's reconnecting with source and with the flow. And something really interesting about this key is about how our
So it's working at
I don't understand what she's saying.
so Blue Lotus from Martins.
This is what I
Egypt.
was dreaming of, Martin's. This is
Thank you so much.
the oil I did not forget from last week.
Yeah, maybe we just close our eyes for a second and just invite this gift also to feel it, our intention, how it feels in our hearts, because you can find it in your heart. What does it feel to be in absolute alignment with life? And question that I'm inviting you to reflect on. When you lost, or when you feel dislocation, how do you think, if this is you making actions to reconnect you with the flow or with the alignment, or it's the flow or the alignment that's taking you back? Just feel into it, and when you have next space to discussion, you can share your feelings about this. And you can open your eyes and stay with the eyes closed for the next part of this gift. And so how we come to the gift? We can start new actions that will rise our consciousness and bring us to the next state of, to the state of energy. Or we can change first the state, and from this we will take new actions and we will create a new flow. But what I really love about this key, and what is quite mysterious, even if it's physiological, but in our pineal gland, there is something called, I might be not super great with terminology, but it's kind of something called magnitude or something. So it's a thing that connects their electrolytes, like electromagnetic waves with the cells in our system, makes our cell receive these electromagnetic impulses and basically kind of read them, and then we feel it, and then basically they flow through us and magnetize everything to us. So there is a basically like a magnet kind of in our pineal gland, the pineal gland, that first it's magnetize these electromagnetic impulses with the cellular levels in our body, and second it attracts everything to us, literally magnetize. And we can even see deeper, like in human design, there is a center where the second gene key is located. It's called a G center, or they also call it magnet monopole. And they call it that this center is what attract to us or magnetize to us everything that we need, everything that we are, or that will help us to recognize who we are and bring everything kind of towards us in our life. So, and then we can think about this. So basically, what I'm calling dislocation is basically when something happened with this like magnet in me that the magnetizing kind of is not happening because like kind of this energy isn't working and I'm not in the right direction where everything that's supposed to support me is kind of somewhere else. But then when I'm in our intention that everything is naturally magnetizing, and the more I'm rising this frequency, the more I'm in the gift of our intention, the higher it's working, and the easier, in fact, it brings everything. The beauty of the second jinki of gift and intention that when you are on your path, this is easy. Everything flows to you naturally as it's supposed to be. You don't need to like, how to say, prove to deserve it or anything else. It's already here for you. And it's, how to say, we think that we can reconnect with this. And yes, we can do practices like alignment practices or anything that will create this. And also what happens is that, as I said, it magnetizes everything to us. And then everything starts to flow very naturally, very easily. And we experience this synchronicity when we don't need to like plan so much. We don't need kind of to put our mind so much there. In fact, we just living, experiencing what is our dharma, what is our past, what is our what we can call destiny. This key is designed to bring everything into your life as more as you listen and surrender. Like the more you listen to yourself and surrender to your soul, the easier everything flows to you. The more you try to plan, control, understand, and put yourself in the between, like between you and life, kind of, the more it's difficult. And because the like let's say the magnetic pole is not working. And when also Richard Rock speaks about divine feminine, he said even like to say feminine a pole is not even fully right, because the masculine is a pole, but the feminine, it's so it's like kind of, it's so advanced and in a way complicated to understanding that yeah, you can see it is this monopole that just kind of attracting everything. And so we can see this kind of examples or metaphors. If we look even in the nature, I remember every time when I was explaining to my women groups about sexual energy and in like what is the difference between feminine and masculine parts. Like the feminine is like a flower, and all she can do is to be herself and spread this aroma. She is not chasing. She's just here, simply present and vibrating with who she is. And the masculine is who taking actions and kind of like we go into this flower. The flower is not chasing the bees, but it's just simply being herself. And as a magnet attracting everything that is aligned with your past, we can say. And as we're speaking about this key and we're here, man and woman, you can always find this feminine inside of you, this monopole, this magnet that can attract everything into your life. The more also you support your inner feminine and connect with your heart and make decisions from your heart. Basically, this key is what transmutes fear, is asking us to let go of all the fears, and as I said, to put love above all. And like when you put love above all, you can never be lost. You will never be alone. Like life and everything will always support you, but you have to trust also. When it's going to be moments of doubts or some challenges, some uncertainty for your mind, you have to trust and still keep love above all, and then you will see like how life will respond and how things will flourish from this. And I will not even go into examples because I had so many examples in my life when I trusted so, when I was jumping into unknown, when I was letting go of everything, when my mind was screaming, "You are stupid! You're destroying all your life! What the fuck are you doing?" But I was just keep going. And in different spheres, like in my like work, in relationship, and in anything. And even when I tried not to follow my soul, the life kind of came and I would say just kicked me out of the old path. There was no option to follow my heart in a way. And I would say this is what the feminine, you cannot follow your heart, because as soon as you put love inside your being on the first place, you can't act not in alignment with this. Like I remember when I tried to make decision not from my heart, I felt such a big contraction in my system, and the suffering there was not like a kind of personal suffering. It felt like a soul crying that I just, yeah, it was enough for me to feel it for one day to completely change the direction and everything. That when we really listen to ourselves, we would feel this. We will feel when our kind of soul is crying, and there will going to be a signs for us that we have to change something. That the life maybe was asking you for more trust and more surrender and more letting go, and more opening to be love and to receive love again. It's a key of receiving. Second jinki, it's feminine, and also the more we open up this gift, the more it's open us the gift of, it's called a ring, the ring of water. And there are two keys, the second and 8. And the 8 is the key of style. So what the fun is happening, the more we, sorry, this scarf is becoming colder here. From the fan.
Style.
Yeah, it's like the more when we in this gift, we feel also our connection with everything and everybody. Realizing that it's not me go in my past kind of alone, it's connected with everybody. And with the more and more we feel this morphogenetic fields, and we feel in the union and oneness. But then what's happening is that the more our unique style appearing through us, the aging, we're not pretending anymore, we're not trying to copy, or we're not trying just to be in everybody, so not like I don't want it to be seen. No, we're just expression of the true nature, how it wants to be expressed through us. And then yeah, we feel this how this key is bringing the true style of life through us. And then it's creating also, it's going with this intention. And since we found this gift, I would say, yeah, we kind of become the lost. And to come to this gift, Richard Rata said, if you ask me the question, I would say, there's kind of, they want the logical answer. I would say, listen, surrender, be like water. Just like contemplate on the water and see how the water flows. And you'll understand how come back to yourself. This kind of, but you kind of have to invite it into the system and be open to receive and soften, so you can hear and you can kind of let the flow of life to take you. Yeah, so maybe you have next another open space if you want to also share anything or ask before we go to CD.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
This, well, right now, like, for example, I'm in a process, I'm supporting a Shiva Shakti. Gurji. And I'm contemplating like the play, like how these two forces, because the first key is also the programming partner of the second key, and maybe you can share a bit about what like the way it's being shared right now is like the the second key is kind of in its own. It's kind of the one that kind of doing things and it's unfolding things in its own way. But there's some kind of maybe this is a question, like, maybe it will be answered in the city. But I'm just trying to see what is the, like, what is the role of the Shakti or the second key, like, in your life sense? Like, is it the one that leads you to, like, kind of to Shiva, like to enlightenment, or is it has its own plan, or is it in tandem? Like, is it kind of they're actually one, but it's kind of like the mother, because you're saying that the mother is kind of like the mother's leading you to fulfillment or something. Trying to-
If I was saying basically before we came, that we see these keys or like these forces separated, the masculine family when in fact they're not,
Yeah, that's what I
and
was
they're one. And I was also sharing even the story that you shared with me yesterday for the retreat.
Which one?
About like
Yeah.
consciousness and form experiencing, like that the consciousness need form to experience, and the form need a consciousness to be experienced, and that
Yeah.
they're not divided. In fact, they divided in our minds since till we divided, since we in
Yeah.
separation.
And that's why I was asking, because for me, it's like I feel that my confusion before was like I thought like, the feminine path is like, it's one way, and then the masculine path is like some other completely separate thing. But I'm not sure. I feel that they're like two sides of the same coin, and like kind of it's like watching this Fifth Element, you need each of the stones like to make the thing work. So it's like different. They're two stones, they're kind of like locked. Like if you look at a Shiva Lingam, it's the Yoni and the Lingam together. It's never like Shiva Lingam. There's a Yoni this kind of support that. So that's the thing. It's so they can't be divided. So I feel like how this key is super like with his partner, super close. In fact, it's like the
Yes,
feminine
and
is so
even
close to the masculine.
if we will see what the first gene key when we say Shiva, but the first key it's the energy of the absolute creation.
Mm.
It's the energy through which new things always coming into our life, something that never been existed before, not the patterns, but like new the beauty, the seed of the key. Isn't it funny that the seed or the first gene key that is divine masculine is the beauty?
Yeah.
But what the beauty is something authentic and new, something that comes from source and through the deep authenticity that's not trying to copy or imitate anything, but the unique expression. And for how we see how this is connected, to activate this creation flow, we need to come to union. We need to come to love. And through this, the creation will flow, because the creation is not something that like you strict. No, you can't you can't feel creative this spark like of energy in you if your system is not open, if like the Shakti is not following you. You might not think in the creation, you might not think in the survival. Like when the energy is flowing, then the creation is happening. This is a combination of these keys.
There was, just to add to that, it's like I don't know which one's like coming first in a way. And maybe they're not. And that's why it's like super hard to understand this key, because like I feel that it's like the spirit is inseparable from what is coming from the spirit, like the matter, the creation, the womb, the cosmic womb. So it's kind of they can't be separated, and they kind of
Yes, and this is
Yeah.
why we are now calling it seed.
That's what you said in the beginning, right? The more you try to make logical sense of it, the more farther you get from the truth.
Yeah,
So just now, try to figure. Yeah, no, it makes total experience sense. I feel totally how it's playing out. It's just
Silent there? You want to share with us something?
Right?
Okay,
Silent?
yeah.
I feel so loved just being here. I love it. I'm so grateful. I love you guys. Miss you so much.
Wish you were
I literally
here.
get emotional because I miss you guys.
Oh.
Oh, cutie. Oh, good.
Oh.
Love
Let's
you.
send a big hug.
Big,
We
big
love
hug.
you. Oh,
We're with you, you know?
oh, wish you were here with us.
You can put your astral body and receive the transmission. Just don't forget to put it back when it finished.
Thank you.
Okay, so the energy of union. Let's go to the union, to the highest frequency
There we
of this
go.
scheme. This is where the words kind of don't need even the words here because you can't really put it in the words, but I would say the union comes when we realize that the two is not two, they're one. And or what I've been saying before, for example, about relationship, that it's not two, it's three, because it's a man, woman, and the field of their love, that is the third party that is bigger than the two. Or our union, like me and spirit, that's just like we never separated. We always kind of in the union. We just don't know it. We're not perceiving the reality like this. But when we come into the city, it's changing our perception. What's happening is not that reality is changing. It's our perception of reality is changing. It's how we see it is changing. And by this, kind of different experiences happening, and we more and more align with the deep sense of life, and we're acting not from a sense of lack, but from a sense of fulfillment. So the more we change our perspective of how we see things, the more in fact we attract or magnetize what is supports our mission or our path or our dharma, we can say. And from my experience, I also could say that we can really just surrender to the city, because the city is transparent state. You can't understand it. It's not, it's beyond personal level. The gift is the highest expression of kind of this energy on a human personal level, but the city is something that already goes beyond it. And in the union, we can see that we will feel now, because we will have a taste, a sip of this new tea.
Yeah, this is a new puer,
A new pear, never been tasted before, yeah?
early 90s. This is from Adrian.
Adrian, okay.
Yeah, it was his top of the shelf. It's a very
Okay.
interesting tea.
So Adrian is here with us. Coming into your union is just coming back home. And it's realizing that you always been there. That you never been lost. And that even there was never any path. That it was always here. And this reminded me, honestly, when I now connect with this frequency, with what I've been feeling in Nepal, is we've been recently there, and every time I've been looking in the eyes in the Buddha stupa, I've been feeling just the union. I've been feeling the merging. I've been feeling the love. I've been feeling there's no separation. I've been feeling I would say I've been feeling this calling to get back home until one moment when, the days were happening, we've been receiving different initiations. Oh, the part of life happened. Maybe you want to clean it before it gets. Yeah, speaking about the union, that every time I've been looking into this statue, I felt this call of coming back home. I felt this call of come back to heart. And not even come back, but feeling being in a heart, feeling being in a home, feeling being in my center. But still, there was separation in my mind. There was me, and there was this eyes looking at me, or that I was connecting through these eyes with the source, with the oneness. But then one day, after one initiation that, I don't know, we've been maybe in some temples or something shifted in my awareness where I've been looking into these eyes, and there was absolute clear realization that there is nobody who's looking into the eyes, and there is no eyes looking back. There is just union, there is just oneness. That there was no anymore me who needed to connect with the source. It was just one source experiencing itself. There was no separation, and that there was always message kind of through these every time I've been looking, but until it touched my system and until there was clear that there is even nobody who experienced this in a way. And like this, the union and that is love, it just shines so brightly that at this time, at this moment, I mean, there's a clear realization that there is no evolution. That's what the second Jinki is showing, that there is no evolution. The masculine evolutes, but it's going to evolution path. But the kind of in a source in the core, there is no evolution. Because evolution, you have to go from this direction there to experience something. But in fact, when you come back, you're realizing that there's nowhere to go. To realize the union, you have to follow the river back to the source. You have to go in the opposite direction. You have to go against the curve to find where it starts and to find it. In fact, you've been always there. And this is what I would say describe the union. And when we think about union, when we connect with this word, yeah, we might, the first image at least was coming to my mind always is like in relationship union. But the city is even beyond this. It's kind of starts my union was as a soul, union with a soul. Then when I one with my soul, I can feel one with somebody. I can feel union in a relationship. Then I can feel union in a group. I can feel how there is just one field, energy field that is moving and it's alive. And it's always like kind of flowing and reorganizing itself. And with such a high intelligence in it that I could never understand it like mentally. And then there is union as a like the whole collective and all planets and everything. And then there is union that's just the source itself. And also something from my experience today of this key is that today when I woke up, I just felt, and we had some conversation in the morning at 6 a.m. And I've been feeling so much love and kind of the ecstasy in my heart, like my heart center was burning and I was feeling so much like ecstasy, like kind of the ecstasy was moving through all my blood, through my veins, through my system, as the love was kind of overflowing and overwhelming, but not overwhelming. It was just like there. And then I realized that I remembered that I had this feeling once again, and I had this feeling at the Ayahuasca a long time ago when I had the death experience. And I remember when I was feeling how like the spirit, like this ascension and coming to source, and this feeling of absolute ecstasy and bliss. I remember that moment I thought, if this is what the death is, this is the most like beautiful you can ever experience here. Like, and I was so afraid, like, this is the absolute bliss. This is the best what is possible kind of here. And I had this feeling today that when I went deeper, I felt it's a feeling of total surrender. Let go any control, any resentment, anything. Just fully surrender to love. That is basically the death, because in the death you also fully surrender, not control anything, nothing. You can't control. It's just happening. So the same is with this union. That's why I said put love above all, because you have to die. We had this conversation recently when I think you've been sharing something. You said, I feel like I'm dying or something. You could share it. And I said, you like, if this love is killing me or something, you said, and I shared that. But this is what the love is for. It's killing in a way, because it's dissolving everything. It's showing that what exists is just oneness. And when we let go, that's why I was so blissful this morning, because I felt in my system it's just let go all the tension and fears and like stories and ideas and control, and it's just like, and it's a funny because we create all these shadows because every shadow of each of the key is created from a point of try to separate ourselves from love and from source, and try to create our own path, or like being like, I don't know, so confident, or like figure out your own way, or intellectualize everything. Like every shadow you can find will be the same story, and every city is the same story. It's just letting go of it and let yourself open to what is always was there in each present moment, but you was just very busy on looking in each another direction, because there's also fear. It's a fear of, oh, I would die if I fully surrender. But in fact, when you let yourself die and when you let yourself experience it, kind of, you realizing that, oh my God, this is absolute bliss. There's no fear. When you go beyond this fear, then when the love is shining, because the love is, I would say, is what carrying you to the next. It's not even carrying you, but it's helping you to see that the fear does not exist. That the union is our nature, and that you can find it at any moment, but you need to be willing to let go everything. Any questions or your sharings?
Let go of everything. So accept everything. Feel this energy of like not to be confused with like renunciation or denial. Essentially like accepting from the way and kind of just I feel that it's like why I was saying is everything's a death recently is just since this keynote and Sunday like the life this key I feel like allows you to see the whole picture. You're kind of like, wow, this is the whole thing, this is the whole the life and its mystery. This life's a mystery ultimately. And a mystery, but also a bit of a game, and a game's unfolding. Like it's have to just see it as what it is. From underneath them, face it all. That's the union, base it all.
For me, when you speak about this, and when you speak from the seeking level, it translates as this essence of freedom, right? That like when you can be fully with what is, not having to run away, not having to strategize how we're going to get out of the situation, coming into this deep acceptance of what is. Sometimes like when we're trying to accept, there's this tone of like, oh, I give up. You know, but there's a different texture to surrender that means like, okay, can I just lean back enough to see the bigger picture? You know, just when you were speaking about it, it felt like this specific kind of freedom that you feel when there's this total allowance for what is. Like there is nothing that I need to do to feel better about what is happening right now. Like I'm that free that I can be with what is happening. Even if it goes against my personal agendas, I'm free from my own personal agendas, but I don't need things to go my way in order to accept what's happening. It's very like very rare kind of freedom that really came through.
Yes, by thank you for sharing. By let's say implementing this perspective, that's what will bring us more and more into this high frequency, because instead of seeing everything is wrong, you seeing it as it's all right. And then it starts to unfold. And then it's a deep surrendering, but it's surrendering. I would say there are two types of surrender. One type of surrender, it also can lead to the CD, is like when you're just tired of suffering. When you just realize that I can't fight anymore. And this also happened in my life, in different practices, or in just in life, in dynamic meditation. There were different stages where I was like, when I so clearly see how I was so fighting with life and love. It's like I wanted love, but I was so much fighting with that the moment realizing was like, I just die. I give it up, because give it all, because I just done with fighting. I just can't do it anymore. But you have to see it. You have to have this moment of clarity that all the time there was no obstacles, or somebody did bad for you or something. There was you who was fighting the life and the love. You who were disconnecting you with what you wanted. You were the one who will create an obstacle. And because you always was fighting with that. The moment you see, you can just like, okay, I just die. Or it can happen by like kind of the grace taking you. It's like this experience of the sharing this morning, and then Vasco, when the death experience happened, they both happen gracefully. They both happen not like kind of out of suffering, out of some struggle. It was just like kind of boom, a moment of like, and just a kind of ecstasy just flowing through the system, as not even doing something, not try to go anywhere, not try to follow the source, not try to experience nothing, not try to have any experience, just something from, let's say, I was say grace, something from nowhere that's like happening, and you noticing yourself in this, and you're like, oh wow, yeah, this is how it feels when I just fully let go. And this is in fact what happens, allow the beliefs to come and to be open to flow. Kind of all our ideas is what's stopping the flow of life. When we surrender, then the magic is happening.
I was just thinking, like, how would you live as if you've already died?
I've done maybe a near-death experience, or yeah, grace. No.
Even more emotion.
I would say this question even deeper. How will you would live if you would even never incarnate?
You would never reincarnate.
No, how you would live. Let's say if you know that in fact you've been never incarnated.
That
You
is
you
one
never
life.
incarnated.
You will never
No, like, that's why I'm asking this, because if we kind of contemplate on this question, we can see that, well, in fact, I'm not here. It's my illusion also that I incarnated, that,
never existed.
yeah, you never existed.
illusion.
Yes, exactly.
There were no ideas of what.
There was no you.
If there was like a absolute clarity that you not exist here, you're not incarnated. You never had any past lives. You're not even here in the way how you think you are. This is your dream. How then you would live?
Simulation.
What?
Simulation.
Yes, exactly. And then you see like, wow, in fact, this is also what this Buddha eyes were showing to me. Then it's like nothing's happening. This is not happening. But this is another city. This is not Union. This is probably the city of awakening of 51st Jinki. You see, like these cities, what's interesting. Maybe I'll make one day like a course about cities, just like kind of experiencing the divine that is one, the source through different flavors of cities, because they're all one. You know, like we touch the same source, but
And you could do meditation.
yes.
Start where? Right away.
Yes. So what's about time? Okay.
No, I don't-
Not?
no.
No? So should we wait for this tea or how we do?
Where are we on time?
10
Uh,
minutes.
10 minutes.
Okay, we can serve a round of the tea, because
Mhm.
we can go 10 minutes over.
Okay. Yeah. And so, yes, I was saying, you know, this all CDs, 64 CDs, it's all the same source, but 64 names of the source, 64 kind of ways of expression. Like, for example, the 64 Jink enlightenment. This would happen with you as like kind of explosion of light in your system. And you will feel it like this. The 24 silence, you will just come into absolute silence and stillness, and everything dissolves. Awakening, 51st. It's like boom, and you've seen this is matrix and illusion, and you're breaking through it. Or like not even through it, but kind of it's breaking itself as you've seen the clarity as you not even never was existed. The second Jinki union is this ecstasy of feeling oneness with everything and feeling this source as you are, and this is everything, and it's manifesting itself. It's basically then creating a matter and then playing itself in the matter, but then kind of coming back, and it's always the dance, feminine and masculine, that is always one. And yeah, each CD is kind of like a tea, you know, we have different teas, but they're all what I learned when I was doing also tea workshop. They're all teas, like the white tea and where it's the same tea. It's the same tea kind of tea tree, but they can grow them as tree, or they can cut them to make bushes, and depends on how you pick up which area they grow, but it's still the same leaves basically. So create how many varieties of tea? Probably more than 64.
So you can have jackfruit, that's like the young jackfruit's what you cook with, and then the mature is the fruit, it's that sweet gooey thing.
Everybody has the
Scrooge bought a
They're
bunch of
different
jackfruit
examples.
today, so I was thinking jackfruit, lots. No.
want to say something or share about union while we waiting for the new tea before we start the meditation?
Be you, that's the union, because you are already Shiva and Shakti together. That's that feeling of beingness that's coming from your heart. It's already both consciousness and damaged experience my consciousness already. Not that way. I think I think when I got a lot into like logic and mind and stuff back in my studies, I thought like, oh, I need to kind of go towards some form of like unity, some form of like oneness, but in fact I also false. It's like I'm not separating, I'm coming back and coming into unity.
So this is a shenware, so it's naturally aged, not cooked like the two previous ones we had, which are they speed up the aging process in the with the shoopware, and this is naturally aged. So it's 10 years old. This tea.
Something I want to mention about the gift, in fact, I forgot to say, it's a beautiful way to say about gift that when you activate this gift of our intention, your aura is helping others to connect with themselves, to find their kind of path or alignment. And you're doing it not because like you're giving advices or like you doing anything. In fact, it's your aura, your frequency is restructuring the system of others. And the best way how you can do it is just love them. So and with this tea, we'll go straight into meditation. You can take a cup. Feel it, taste it. Smell it. And when you drink, feel where it lands in your system. And feel how it's going deeper to first show you your shadow, dislocation, disorientation. Feel the dislocation in your body. Feel how it speaks through your emotions and your mental ideas. Maybe there is something you need to let go right now. See what are these ideas that create separation for you inside of you and outside. Breathe into this energy, into this shadow. Give it love. Acceptance. Patience. And then coming into the gift of our intention, by diving deeper into your heart. You can find this magnet in your heart. That is attracting everything to you. You can see your path. You can see different streams as different directions you can take. But you can also see that they are one. And they lead you to one direction. Realizing yourself, source, oneness, union. Feel how this magnet in your heart is activating stronger. Vibrations get higher. And it's pulling you out of lower frequencies to a different dimension. Where union is your true nature. Unity, and it's available in every moment, every second. Changes your perspective. It changes how you respond to life, your thoughts, your actions. And the more you embody this energy, the more it changes how others connect with themselves. Your presence is what reorganizing everything around you. And you just becoming a being of love. Putting love above all. And I invite you to stay a couple minutes in this frequency in silence, just receiving it, letting it move through your system, your energy channels, for you to fully receive it. Taking a deep breath. Grounding in this energy. Feeling your root system going deep into the earth. Grounding yourself with the earth. And rub your palms. Put it on your face or other parts of body. When you're ready, you can open your eyes.
I think so. I don't know.
See again with waters from Martin. What a abundant life. Anybody wants to share anything? No? Okay, then we just close this place. You want to say something? No? Okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here, being part of it. Thank you for the union. We'll be happy to see you next time. If you will be here, if we will align, I will check what's gonna be next key. I think 23rd, complexity and easiness, and yeah, always remind that you can also have a personal sessions, and as I said, I will give special rate for those who have been here, and yeah, this is donation box, and the reply will be available soon. I will share a link again if you want to watch or share with your friends, and yeah, just thank you so much for this, and for those who watched also. She left already. No.